Hey Pilates peeps, this is Naya Calmels from Mindful Movement, and I was requested to make a holiday video since many people will be traveling out of town off their regular routine. So no editing, this is my holiday routine for you. A lot of it will be familiar from the classes or private sessions that we do together. So we'll start doing pelvic tilts, finding length in your spine, and I'm even using my elbows to kind of draw traction on my spine here, finding neutral pelvis, allowing my anchor points to weigh down into the mat. On my inhale, I'm breathing length into the spine. On my exhale, I'm co-contracting, curling the pubic bone towards my belly button, imprinting the lumbar spine into the mat, inhaling back to center. We'll do 4 more here, exhaling as we curl north, inhaling as we come back to center. 2 more here. You can allow the exhale to be audible, like you're fogging up a window or a mirror. Then we'll go side to side, or as some clients like to think of it as up, down. You're going to allow the pelvis to dip down into the mat on the right side, rotating the pelvis to the right. And then doing the same thing, allowing the left side of the back of the pelvis to weigh heavily down into the mat, rotating the pelvis to the left side. And as we continue, we're thinking about keeping the spine long, upper body soft, knees quiet. 1 more time on each side, tilting the pelvis to the right, and then to the left, and back to center. Good. From here, make any fine-tuned adjustments you need to do. Toes are spread wide. Feet are sits bone distance apart, in line with the knees. Shoulder blades are wide across the back of the rib cage and drop down. From here, we're going to take those northern tilts again and go into an articulating bridge. So on your next exhale, you'll co-contract, curl the pubic bone north, continuing to curl as you peel the sacrum up off of the mat, getting into a really deep curl here. We'll continue to roll up 1 vertebra at a time. And as you do so, think about grounding down through the feet, opening up through the front of the hips, sending the pelvis up towards the ceiling while staying soft in the chest. We'll hold here for a couple breaths, squeezing the glutes to get the pelvis up a little bit higher, and then rolling back down 1 vertebra at a time. Taking your time to get there, really getting that curl of the pelvis as you come all the way back down, and coming back into neutral spine, neutral pelvis. 2 more here, rolling up 1 vertebra at a time. This time think about drawing your heels in towards your sits bones to engage through the back of the thighs even more, really engaging your hamstrings here. If you would like to add on, you'll draw your right leg into extension at knee height, keep the pelvis up. We'll take toes towards the ceiling and back down again. 3 times on each side. 2, that was actually 3. Put your foot down, switch to the other side, reinitiate that squeeze of the glutes to get the pelvis back up. Left leg goes to knee height, and we're going for 1, 2, 3. We'll set the foot back down on the floor and roll back down 1 vertebra at a time. Remembering that you can always modify any of these movements. So if doing the leg lifts doesn't feel like it's resonating for you today, don't do them. And on your next exhale, curl pubic bone towards belly button, articulating through the spine as you roll up, back into your bridge. If you want to do the additional leg choreography, we'll start this time by extending the left leg first at knee height. We're going to draw the leg away from midline and back to center. Stay soft through the breastbone, really rooted through that right leg. And then we'll draw the foot back to the floor, reinitiate the lift of your bridge by squeezing your glutes, and right leg extends to knee height, opening and closing for 3 here, keeping the hips square to the ceiling the whole time. You can also do this exercise with your arms reaching up to the ceiling, palms facing in, to add more challenge. We'll bring the foot to the floor and roll back down, one vertebra at a time. All the way back to neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Take your arms out either to low V, cactus arms, or a T, whatever feels best for you. You'll take your feet as wide as your mat and windshield wiper just the legs to start so that the legs are internally and externally rotating in the hip joint. Your pelvis is still square to the ceiling. And then we'll add variation to it by allowing the pelvis to follow. And this is what we often do after bridging in class to release the lower back, get a little bit of movement through the hip joint, but you actually get more of a massage of the hip joint if you keep the pelvis stable and just move the legs in internal and external rotation. So I'll encourage you to play with both. There isn't one that's better than the other, they just do different things. Good, and then coming back, we'll draw our feet right next to each other, zipper up through the midline, so you're squeezing the inner borders of your feet together all the way up to the inner thighs. And then from here, you're gonna place your hands over your chest like you're giving yourself a hug and allow the knees to go from side to side. Pelvis will follow. Keep a long spine and shoulders stay rooted to the mat. You're welcome to stay here. Or if you'd like to add on more challenge, you'll bring your legs into a modified tabletop, so lower legs drop here, and you'll go from side to side again, allowing the pelvis to follow, keeping long spine throughout the exercise. So as you're rotating from side to side, you're also continuing to lengthen through the spine. One more time on each side. Come back to center. From here, we'll take our feet down to the floor just for a moment. We'll bring our arms by our sides. Take our feet back to sits bone distance apart. And then draw our right leg into tabletop. From here, we'll do toe taps. You're welcome to stay with just doing the toe tap with your opposite foot on the floor. We'll switch to the other side after this last one. Or you can do this with both legs in tabletop. So choose the position that works best for you. We'll do one more on this side. And then we'll add on, clasping the hands at the base of the skull, long spine, back of the head rests in the hands, shoulder blades wrap around the sides of the rib cage as you draw the elbows into your periphery. And then I'm going to demonstrate doing it from tabletop position. Remember, you can always do it with one leg still on the floor. On your next exhale, co-contract. Curl up, allowing the head to press into the hands as you use your lower abs to draw yourself into the head float. And then from here, staying up here, toe tap for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to the other side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently draw back down. You're going to keep your knees up. Hug your knees into your chest. You might rock from side to side. And then you'll keep your right knee drawn into your chest as your left leg reaches long, toe pointed. And alternate from side to side, allowing the leg to hinge in the hip joint. Pelvis is stable. Lower abs are helping keep the pelvis stable. And then if you'd like to stay here, you're welcome to. You can also take your outside hand to the outside of your ankle, inside hand to the inside of the knee. If you'd like to add on more challenge, the next time you draw in the left knee, curl your head up, staying long through the back of the neck. Gaze is right between your knees. Using your lower abs to keep the upper body lifted. You're welcome to stay here, or you can add on torso rotation, coming into hands clasped at the base of the skull and crisscrossing, taking your gaze to the left as the left knee draws in, taking your gaze to the right as the right knee draws in. As you continue to crisscross and rotate from side to side, Imagine that you're moving through something sticky like molasses or peanut butter, really finding that tensegrity, the movement. Use your breath to help support your movements. One more time on each side. Come back to center, roll back down one vertebra at a time. Draw your knees into your chest again, rock from side to side.